Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Before I get on out of here, I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involved...
It was a moment the entire sports world had been waiting for, even if they didn't realize it yet. For months, tension inside the WNBA had been building like a pressure cooker. A generational superstar had arrived in a league that wasn't prepared for the spotlight, while jealousy, resentment, and identity politics simmered beneath the surface, threatening to boil over. When the person in charge, the commissioner herself, finally sat down to address the chaos, she didn't just drop the ball, she popped it. That moment became the final straw for Stephen A. Smith, the face of ESPN, a man who has defended the business of basketball for decades, went absolutely nuclear. He didn't merely criticize leadership. He dismantled it piece by piece, exposing what he sees as right at the core of the league's hierarchy. This wasn't just about a bad interview. It was about how the WNBA's leadership nearly destroyed its own golden ticket, and how Stephen A. Smith became the one to scream what everyone else was thinking. To understand why Smith's reaction was so explosive, you have to understand the unprecedented landscape of this season. This was a normal rookie year. It was an economic revolution. Before Caitlin Clark ever stepped onto a professional court, the WNBA spent decades struggling for relevance, fighting for airtime, and operating at a financial loss. For 28 years, the league was subsidized by the NBA, losing an estimated $10 million annually. Then, almost overnight, everything changed. Chartered flights became standard. Attendance in arenas hosting the Indiana Fever spiked by more than 150%. And television ratings weren't just good for women's basketball. They beat MLB games and rivaled NBA playoff numbers. Smith, a business-first analyst, recognized this immediately and labeled Caitlin Clark the golden goose. In sports, you protect the asset that pays the bills. When Tiger Woods transformed golf, the PGA bent over backward for him. When Michael Jordan globalized the NBA, the league marketed him like a god. Strangely, the WNBA didn't follow that blueprint. Instead of rolling out the red carpet, veterans and even league administrators seemed to view Clark's arrival with suspicion, bordering on hostility. Smith watched all of it unfold, taking notes and waiting for the moment to speak. The first cracks appeared before the season even began, as legends like Diana Taurasi and Sheryl Swoopes made comments that sounded less like tough love and more like gatekeeping. Taurasi's warning that reality is coming for Clark became a quote Smith latched onto early, questioning why the old guard seemed determined to dampen hype instead of riding the wave. As the season progressed, the narrative shifted from tough competition to something much darker. The physical play wasn't just welcome to the league contact. It was targeted aggression. The Kennedy Carter incident, where Clark was hip-checked to the floor away from the ball and then seemingly mocked on social media, became a flashpoint. Smith went on air furious the next day, not just over foul, but over the league's delayed response. It took days for the WNBA to upgrade the play to a flagrant, and Smith argued the league was asleep at the wheel, allowing its biggest star to be physically hazed while officials swallowed their whistles. He warned that if the commissioner didn't step in, things would only get worse, and he was right. The situation escalated further with the Olympic snub. Leaving Caitlin Clark off the Team USA roster for Paris was framed as a basketball decision, with claims that she hadn't paid her dues. Smith saw it differently, calling it one of the biggest marketing blunders in modern sports history. He argued that the Olympics aren't just about the best 12 players. They're about growing the sport globally. By leaving Clark at home, the WNBA and USA Basketball sent a message that hierarchy mattered more than the audience. Smith called the decision stupid, plain and simple, pointing out that fans overseas weren't tuning in to watch veteran role players. They wanted to see the phenomenon. All of that was just kindling. The real fire was lit by the fan bases. What should have been a healthy rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese turned toxic almost instantly. It stopped being about basketball and became tangled in race politics and culture wars. Social media turned into a cesspool, with fans hurling racism, misogyny, and harassment at players from all sides. Dejanai Carrington, Angel Reese, and Clark herself were all caught in a spiraling storm of online hate. That chaos led directly to the interview that changed everything. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert appeared on CNBC to discuss the league's growth and was asked a direct, serious question about the toxic, race-based narrative surrounding the league. It was a softball opportunity for leadership. All she had to do was condemn racism, state there was no place for hate in the WNBA, and promise to protect her players. Instead, she fumbled spectacularly. She didn't condemn the hate, didn't even use the word racism, and pivoted to a corporate response about rivalries being good for business. By comparing the Clark-Reese dynamic to Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, she implied that the toxicity was simply a marketing side effect. That was the moment Stephen A. Smith had seen enough. On First Take, he didn't just disagree, he destroyed her credibility. He accused Engelbert of a dereliction of duty, arguing that a commissioner's primary responsibility is protecting the league's integrity and its players. He called the Magic Bird comparison absurd, noting that while race existed in that rivalry, it was never fueled by the kind of hatred seen today. Smith accused the commissioner of financializing hate speech, mistaking harassment for engagement, and emboldening resentment within the league. In his view, Caitlin Clark was being hung out to dry, bringing in the money that funded charter flights, while being treated like an unwanted guest. The backlash proved Smith's point. The WNBA Players Association released a statement, making it clear that racism is not rivalry, directly contradicting the commissioner. Engelbert later issued a written apology, but Smith dismissed it as too little, too late. The damage was done. To him, the apology only confirmed that the league lacked instinctive leadership in moments of crisis. His warning was blunt. The WNBA cannot demand NBA-level attention with G-League-level management. The spotlight is permanent now. The Caitlin Clark era is here, and it demands accountability, competence, and real leadership. The golden goose is still laying eggs, but mishandle it, and the future disappears just as fast as it arrived.